There's more chairs over here. Do you guys need more chairs? There's one right behind you, Nate.
Oh, did I? I don't want to do that. Oh, sure. Oh, my.
You can sit with me.
I said Laura.
Hi. There's a spot right there. I can move the camera so it won't be right on you. Unless you want to be right on. There's an agenda and.
Okay, right on Kevin and Nate.
Yes. I can switch it.
Let's see, so.
Nice.
I know, me too. I don't see Corinne yet, but I do.
I saw she couldn't make it. She was on Zoom, I think.
Oh. Oh, thank you. But I said automatically
Oh,
lit.
she-
Okay, well, this is, I think we have a quorum. And it's, there's a lot of people.
Okay.
It's nice to have a muster room, for cases like this one. So probably the first thing to do is if I'm not, I know I don't know everybody here in the room. But why don't we just go around? You can, I'm Nate Wetton. Yarmouth Department of Public Works and project manager for the project. And with me, sitting at the table here is Eversource.
Brian Noel, with Eversource, I'm the account owner for the town, and the project managing this project for Eversource.
Eddie Sharp, line foreman, you're gonna be working for us. I'm gonna be in charge of the crews that are gonna really help doing the line work.
Yeah, I'm with DPW, Dave Moore, highway supervisor.
Oh, I'm Laura Hayden, DPW, an admin person. I pay the bills.
She's a good one to know.
Yeah.
I'm Jeff Colby, the Public Works Director.
Megan Thomas.
Edward Stick with Lawrence Lynch.
Melissa Robinson with Warren Whitworth.
Jay Susan with Lawrence Lynch.
Vandalina, town
Mike Bryant, Yarmouth Police. Aaron Kimmel with Concept. Doug McCullough, National Grid Gas Construction. Eddie Noonan, Green International.
Herman Pearl, the project manager from Green International, the site so.
Yeah, all right, well, welcome everybody. We miss anyone? That's right, go ahead, Laura.
Well, Corinne, and I'm not sure who the 401 number is.
That would be me, Brian Doyle, Horizon Engineering.
Verizon, okay, thanks, Brian.
And Brittany was trying to jump
Oh,
into.
she's in the waiting room now.
Oh, okay, thank you. Admit. She's on her way.
Yeah, she was trying to come on with Teams.
Yeah.
So, hello, Brittany. Brittany is the Conservation Administrator, County Yarmouth. I think we have, I think that's everybody. So we've been talking with Eversource about moving poles. There's been some discussion with the other utilities. And then this one, Open Cape, Verizon, Comcast.
Said Verizon, there's 4 of them, right? So Eversource, Verizon, Comcast, and UPD.
Right, right. And in addition to that, obviously, there's County Yarmouth Water and National Grid. So I guess the question, the first item on the agenda is to talk about project schedule. And it's not something that we've talked about, Melissa, but what are you folks thinking about with regard to schedule?
Right now we're working on buyout and we'll submit our SWIP either today or tomorrow, and then we can. Put in the 14-day NOI and get started probably mid-April.
Could you just repeat that again? All right, so you're working on the SWIP.
Yeah, we'll submit the SWIP to you guys, by tomorrow. And then we'll submit our 14-day waiting period with the NOI. And then we're working on buyout as well. So
Sorry, by the bio, what do you mean by that?
just getting all the materials.
Oh, the material, okay, or the erosion control.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, and then, so Brittany's on the line, she'll end up reviewing the SWIP. And then, I think prior to any work going on, we're gonna wanna see the temporary erosion control in place. So that would follow, pretty soon after.
Yeah, once we get that 14 days period clear, we'll go in and do all of the erosion control first.
Okay, all right. Brittany, does that make sense?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Let me know when those are in place.
Okay, all right, then we can do a walkthrough.
Yeah.
Let's see, the bi-weekly look ahead. Herman, do you want to take that? I think one of the things that we wanted to do, especially through the utility relocation process, is we just wanted to maintain contacts.
I don't know if everybody's saying them.
I haven't.
I think the most critical component to this at this point is Eversource's schedule. I know we've been trying to get a schedule to see when you guys can complete the work. I think Brian, you had mentioned that if the work is done internally, it'll take a little bit more time, but if you have a subcontractor do the work, I think it's like 3 to 4 weeks.
Subcontract is a no-go.
That's off the table, so it's gonna be. all
Has to
done.
be internal, please, for this.
Okay. Do you have a schedule yet? Because obviously that's gonna affect the Lich's work at this point.
I mean, it's tough to give a schedule, because this is not something where we dedicate our crews to every day. And, they're working other projects, as emergent work that's been done. I mean, I know right now we got, our schedule is to possibly be Saturday, be out there, we're gonna try to get as full set as we can. Once all the cables are set, then we can start having crews out there doing transfers, running the wire. That's our short-term schedule right now.
Right.
We're gonna try to keep the crews out there all the time, as much as we can. But again, you're not gonna see crews out there every day. It's just not on the table to have done that way.
Because obviously this also affects, there's also on the utility poles, which is obviously OpenKey, Comcast and Verizon.
I mean, do you, I know, it sounds like mid-April, you're gonna be out there working. Is there a specific place where you're gonna start working that you want us to start doing these transfers? That's something that can help us to try to figure out, okay, where do we want to start first? Because our goal right now is to just get all the poles in. But when we start doing the transfers, we can start where we're convenient to you guys.
Yeah, I think those walls are gonna be the primary focus. Wall location.
So down towards the end of the project.
Well,
So there's 2 retaining walls being proposed. One of the retaining walls, I don't know if you can actually start working on it, because there is poles that needs to be relocated behind that, and an access road needs to be built for Eversource. So that area is gonna be a little bit tricky, as it relates to starting to work prior to Eversource relocating the utility.
yeah, that would be pole 11 and pole 11-5.
Yeah, we want to get that voted for you ASAP.
Yeah, road 11 actually feeds one of the pumping stations for the town. So that would be one of the ones, that would be, those right there are gonna be kind of roadblocks until I can get a road built. I don't have any trucks that would reach that or even be able to crawl down in there without having something built for them.
Yeah, we're gonna execute that change order.
Okay,
Provide that.
all right, because like Brian was saying, if I can get the poles in, and if you guys can tell me which is more critical, which poles, and I can concentrate on getting those done and getting them out of the way. But what we'll do is we transfer our utilities over. We cut the top of the pole off, and then it becomes the next utility up. And we can't remove any of those poles until every utility's off of it, because we're going that much further back. If we were going side by side, we'd be able to cut the bottom off the old one, but we're not, we're setting everything backwards. So they have to stay there until the utility is off, and then we can combine and pull them out.
Will Eversource take off our streetlights, like we just stack them? Or-
No. Well, there we go. We'll stop at our secondaries, and then after that, you know, we'll get to the town to transfer them over. We'll connect them back up, but we won't take them down.
Okay. Then in the past, you guys stack and put them on the ground,
Yeah.
but, okay. I will do that.
Could someone from the, I don't know if this is ever source, but the order of, overhead wire relocation, is it Open Cape and Comcast and then Verizon? Is that how the, order gonna go?
Yeah, Verizon will be the last one, but I don't know who else is between them.
Herman,
Yes.
is the retaining walls, it looks like those are on utility plans 4, 5, and 6. So you want them to start at Buck Island and go down towards the police station? Because we actually only have to transfer on 6 poles. So once I know Brian has had his crew set the poles and done their wire transfer, and then the streetlights are taken down, we can have our crew go out, because I only go up to pole, I only go up to pole 21, which is Eversource's pole 11, 9193 over 11. So I go from that pole down towards Route 28, down to towards Buck Island Road. So I've got about 2 days worth of work, and that's it. And that'll get me off those poles quickly so that they can work on the retaining walls.
Okay.
And I think I mentioned to you, I already walked it with the contractor that I've hired, and he was good with my time estimate, and he didn't think it would be a big deal. But the key is going to be, once Eversource is done, if Brian can just notify me, and then I can schedule that crew. And then once I'm done, Comcast can get in there, and I'll get a hold of Aaron and let him know.
Okay, I'll coordinate those, poles that you're talking about, Corinne. Of
Okay.
Which one you, because like you said, it's only a short section of, Higgins Crowell, it's not the entire, length of phase
Correct.
3. So let me
Right.
take a look at that, and, that's great, it's only 2 days of work. And on that note, Aaron from Comcast, right? How long is your work gonna take?
I would say it's about,
4 weeks?
yeah, we have to build new, activate, fire swap and back out. So,
And then for Verizon? Oh, it's,
Yeah, I'm here. Hold on.
Line door?
Yeah, this is Brian Doyle from Verizon. We have a situation at Higgins Crowell. Pole 10.5 and new pole 21, new pole 20 and a half. And that area, we have 2 fiber cables that need to be cut over. And that takes some lead time as far as setting up a request for a national center to have turndowns and notify customers who's working. And the work has to be done out of hours. So it usually starts about midnight and done about 5 in the morning. But that's a consideration. That's just not a simple transfer. So just want to be aware when it comes our turn on those poles to transfer and get off. We have 2 copper cables that can be thrown. That's not a big deal, but the fiber is a special consideration. It takes a little bit more time, and there's a little bit more players involved here that I have to go through in order for this construction firm to be able to go out and do it.
Would you have a time?
Want to put that out there. Well, the schedule, no, excuse me, the LOI has not been signed and bill paid, so the job has not even been released to our construction department to even have them look at it yet. Never mind, trying to get up a schedule for when everything, so as soon as we get paid, we release the job, then the construction foreman will let us know what his timeline can be, and he or she's responsibility to initiate that request to our national center to cut those fibers off, to resection those fibers. So once the construction foreman gets it, I'd be able to relay a lot more pertinent information as far as timing and logistics here.
One thing that.
Makes sense?
Is telling me is that there's a lot of coordination. It's gonna need to happen between Lynch and Eversource, Verizon, Comcast, Open Pay, and with everyone basically in the room, should we establish a time? I mean, would a conference call every other week make sense? Would that?
Well, like I said, till our bill is paid, I have nothing new to offer. I'm just waiting to pull the trigger on this and initiate the events to follow on our end.
What do you guys think would be the appropriate way to communicate or coordinate this?
Yeah, we should do bi-weekly meetings, typically what we do on our Mass DOT jobs. And this is nothing new. Yeah. All of us that are in this room.
Yeah.
We deal with big projects since that's usually every 2 weeks we have a.
Yeah, at this point, without having a schedule for member source, I think bi-weekly would obviously make sense and see where the progress is. Obviously, Eversource is going to be controlling the project at this point. So once, well, looks like Verizon hasn't been paid yet, so once they get paid, I guess they can get the process going. But once all the overhead has been relocated, I'm assuming Eversource will remove the poles pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's, but after Verizon's done.
Right, after
They're
Verizon,
the
yeah.
last one. Then we can start pulling poles.
I don't know, has Lynch reviewed the utility plans to see if, what areas you can start and,
That's what we're gonna have to get together and look at that, because I'm sure there's cut fills and stuff like that, so that's what we're gonna want to look at. Actually, we want to put our cuts to our fills and we'll have to look at those areas and see what holes we can.
And then also that will allow. Where that infiltration trenches and how it relates to national grid services. On the other phases, we stop the trench whenever we find the service. And of course,
That's right. There's elements of, there's both porous pavement and infiltration trench on phase 3. And these are basically, they go down 3 or 4 feet, which means that some of the services are getting across them. And so that's where we need the coordination with grid and review.
Has that been initiated? Has there been any areas identified that the gas facilities need to be lowered or relocated?
no, from what I understand, our profile is pretty much, being existing, so there's not really much, gas relocation. It's just adjusting, gas gates at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think what Amanda was saying was that, at locations where we've had gas in the past, the trenches stops at either side of the gas main. Is that correct?
Yeah.
On phase 1.
yeah, the service. Allow.
So they're not encroaching on the service of the main.
Right.
Okay.
So at this point, now we just need to coordinate pretty much the utility work and what Lynch can actually work on while the utility is being relocated. Yeah.
So EJ or Melissa, so do you guys want to set up the coordination call or okay. So, so does this time work for? We start having calls like this time, 2 weeks. You guys okay with that?
Yes.
Okay.
So right now, it sounds like the two roads. Is the critical path, two roads, and then, you know, once that's done, you will get that, those two last poles put in. And then we'll start from, the end of the project and start transferring.
Yeah, and Lynch just has to let us know if they wanna go from Buck Island going that way, or they wanna go from.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's
Going
going
this way.
backwards.
And some, well, because, so the two retaining walls, they're both at the south end of the project. The one retaining wall, just for people in the room, is a little bit south of where the existing phase one trail stops, which is at the Horse Pond Trail parking area, and then there's a low area, and so one retaining wall is going to be built up there to support the path. And then the other one is between, I think it's between Orchid and Horse Pond, if I'm not mistaken. Horse Pond is. And that's a cut retaining wall where there's a small hill that we're cutting into. And one of the poles would have to be moved behind the wall.
Or, so Glitch owns some tree clearing associated with the project for the pole relocation, since we'll be moving the woods further. I guess my question is, sorry, it's covered somewhere, I just want to ask it out loud, is, you know, in regards to coordinating with Lynch on which of that three, we can work with the butters, because the butters have been really good, and the increasements, you know, which was kind of one of the topics.
Yeah, so I know we discussed this on a few of our lockdowns that, you know, I guess Lynch, they're gonna be doing all of the tree trimming for us. Right. So it's gonna be pretty much where that new pole line is. And if then over, you know, we like to keep a good 10 feet around the new lines. So anything within that envelope needs to be tree trimmed.
And we like know which ones have guy wires and, you know, so.
Yeah,
that they know
it's all,
how
it's
to
all,
do
on-
that.
it's all in the plans.
Right, you need some time.
Well, we do need a pine tree removed at pole 66-5. Right where they asked us to put the new pole, there's a pine tree right there. So that pine tree's gotta be completely removed. And it's down near building number 560. It's just up from it's two pole sections up from house number 560.
So pretty much wherever the stake is, wherever that pole is, and you look down that line, you know, you want to be a good 15 feet from that center of that pole line into the woods to get first. Including right around where that pole is.
But I can't, I'm just to let you know, I can't set pole 66-5 without that pine tree being removed.
It, you know, most of these poles we can set. Except for this one, when it comes time to start dressing the poles, running wire, that's where this tree trim is gonna have to be done.
Most of the poles you can set right now, or you could go out there and set them right now.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, there's only a few that are gonna need some limbs knocked off and what, but if they're small enough, when we go to set them, my crew will just go up and drop the limb. And then afterwards, once the pole's set and the pole's dressed, before we bring the wire, it'll give you a better idea of what you're looking at, the clearances. Because then you can use the cross arm as a guide.
Usually I say 50 feet, you know, we got 8-foot cross arms, so from the center, 4 feet plus another 10 feet.
So then, other than the two poles at the retaining wall and 66-5, is there any ones that you need clearing done so you can set your poles, or just those three?
Right now, it's just those three.
It's just those three. There's some others that have small.
I just want to get the stuff
Yeah.
out of your way
Yeah.
ASAP, so you guys can go.
Yeah, and I mean, the guys, if the limbs are in the way, the guys will just drop the limbs, as long as they're not too big. You know, from what I looked at, I think most of them will go up.
I think the timing works too, because the one, the retaining wall and conservation have that too, so it's with anyway. That's really the closest one.
You know, we're gonna start setting the poles, and whatever we can't do, it's gonna have to stay, but. If there's no other poles that we can set, then we can start dressing the poles. We'll be busy enough.
That was gonna be my next question, is so if the poles are, you know, and some work happen between, like, so if you work on the 5 poles and they're all set, and the next utility at least work on those 5 poles, and you have to wait till all every.
And all of it was so sensitive.
Just see, I'm not sure if we start to bring the wire over, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to cut wire and add wire, or if everything's just gonna be able to be brought straight over. I do know when we get down towards those 50-foot, those 55-foot poles, we're gonna be installing wire, because it goes 30 feet over and then back up again. So that's the only thing I wanna make, I wanna get all that stuff over before anybody else starts working on the poles.
And what? Well, just so I'm clear, so obviously the poles need to be moved out of the way of the path. What work can be done? Is there work that can be done in the meantime on the path?
Have to look and see, you might be able to do something up the far end of the small piece at Tech Drive. I don't think much happens there. I think most of the stuff after that. You gotta get the wires out of the way first.
We really gotta get the wires moved over, the new poles. Things moved over before it makes any sense to do significant work on the path. Is that what I'm hearing?
I mean, there is maybe markings for phase 2, and obviously be done first, prior to the phase 3 stuff. So that's part of the contract. So I guess this bi-weekly meeting, Ryan, Ed, I'm hoping as we progress to the bi-weekly meeting, we can kind of get a schedule. To at least get, Open Cape Comcast Verizon an idea of when they can start. So they can at least line up their contract with the people. I think that's kind of critical. We want to give them like 2 days, 2 days before, and you guys are done, and then they can't schedule the work until, 4 weeks down the line.
I wish I could tell you a schedule, but.
I was gonna ask you for a ballpark date, but
You've been
I'm
asking
not
me,
even
he
trying.
knows, he asked me hundreds of times.
I know very well.
You guys know each other well. Just-
Unfortunately, that's just the nature of the work.
You shouldn't have told us about a subcontractor before.
Well, we tried,
Yeah,
probably,
we tried.
we have to have so much time out, and they're not
Yeah.
doing any subcontractors.
Does this time, day and time work for everybody? Because we can send out an invitation from 2 weeks from today and just try to keep it moving at this time.
Yes.
We'll send something out.
All right, shall we move on to, there's a bunch of things on the agenda. Hours of work, traffic control. You want to go ahead with that?
Yeah, just before we head to that, just want to just circle back on the tree trimming and the tree removal. Amanda had pointed out earlier, there's, the butters are a little bit sensitive with the trees in front of their houses, so just to make sure when these trees are being trimmed, they're trimmed that they don't die. We do have contingency for trees to be replaced, just in case it needs to be cut down. So just an FYI, so the trees that needs to be trimmed, and it looks like it's too of a significant thing, then just let the town know before.
Yeah, Herman's understating things significantly by saying just a little bit, meant that facetiously, I'm sure. They're seriously concerned. And so as a result of that in the contract, trees that need to be cut, there's an item that says, 7 days in advance, market.
Yeah,
And
market
then
and.
I get to deal with the butters.
Does that go for us if we just have to trim some branches?
Yep.
Okay.
I think I can say no. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'll hear about it either way, I'm sure, but,
Okay.
no, but if you're gonna cut, and there's some trees that, I mean, some of there's one abutter in particular I'm thinking of, they actually want the trees that are right next to the pole location removed because they don't want to have to take them down in the future. But those are on the plan.
Oh, excuse me, this is Brian Dole from Verizon. I'm being summoned to see to a matter. Is there anything, other than, the next call that I should be aware of at this moment?
Brian, if you don't mind, could you give us those poll numbers again, where you said you had the, fiber?
Yes, it's, Higgins Crowell Road. It begins at pole 20, which is being kicked back 25 feet. Pole 20 stays, pole 20 and a half, pole 20 to pole 20 and a half, to pole 21 to pole 10.5, if that makes sense. There's no address here given, so I can't get an exact, real life location here. But there's a new stub bowl being placed, pole 20 at 206/20S. That helps. Those poles are going back and looks like you're creating a corner.
These poles out here, they're a little funky. They got Verizon numbers and everything else.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, y'all have my email address if you need any information quick that I can get my hands on, other than any construction, what their timeline is, feel free.
Okay. All right, thanks, Brian.
Thank you, guys and gals. Bye.
The customer has a fence made out of pallets.
Yeah.
And they have it around, the pole. That pole is there's no stake there, but it is marked to be replaced. So, and it's pole 919193 over 15-5. So we need the homeowner has to remove the pallet fence, which we need access to the pole. And they also have to keep the dogs inside because they apparently use it as a bathroom. And that pole location is.
Okay,
And
This-
we need it staked as well.
I had thought that's the one that the gentleman had asked you, can you remove this pole?
He wanted it moved to like
Right.
20 feet either side.
yeah, I told him after our meeting out there, sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not part of the plan. And he said, okay.
But I just need to know that one, I haven't marked on my plans to be replaced.
I thought that was supposed to be retained.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Let
It's
me
being
double check
retained, that
that,
actually
because that
was
was supposed to be retained, yeah.
All right, I'll just make a note of it, then we're not gonna do it.
Right.
Confirm that, because I had thought we went out in the field and we actually confirmed that that's gonna be retained based on the utility plan.
So
Yeah,
that,
touch that.
with that staying there, that cause a problem with the vegetables down pretty dangerous. So
Okay.
the other one is.
Like I said, I don't mind replacing that pole, although can I move it to the street side? Or does it have to go in back of, because it does have a steel truss on it, which means it's been subject to being replaced. I just need to know if I have to go to the back side of the pole, can I go to the front of it? You can just let me know.
You said it's pole 919316.
15 dash, I have it as being 15-5. You can't miss it, it's got the white pallet fence. It's the gentleman has 4 dogs that run in the yard, so.
Because that one was to be moved. It's just with the plan changes not to move these, they're now creating angles on other poles where there's gonna be guy wires on them. And they're just, now you're gonna have to get rights for that, and it's just creates more,
If somebody could just let me know how, so if somebody wants to talk to the customer about the dogs.
Yeah, no problem talking about the dogs.
Let me take a look at that.
This particular gentleman is a huge fan of the project, so. We don't expect any resistance from him, but I'm happy to talk about the dogs.
Okay, in a sense. You just have to let me know if it's gonna go to the side. You know, if it's gonna stay, or if it's being kicked back forward, just give me an idea where you want it.
Sure.
Okay, I thought that was thing, but
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'll confirm that. Can't really see it in here.
I was gonna say from,
Let's have a steel truss on it, though, which is gonna be replaced.
does that mean you have to replace the pole then, if it has a steel truss on it?
Yeah, we will upgrade it.
Yes, we'll
But
upgrade
if
it.
it's,
So it'll be
but if
good
it's
to
not
know
moving
where
in or out,
to
we'll just replace it.
Yeah.
In the spot.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean, you have access to these plans, so by that not moving, you gotta look at the angles.
Yeah.
That it's gonna create on that pole line.
On that. So I guess we can move on to hours of work and traffic control.
Thank you.
So I'm assuming this is typically a 9 to 3, Monday to Friday. I'm
let's
not,
see, cover that.
are they allowed to work at night if needed? Given this is a residential area.
Let's see, on phase two. I mean, it was typically, I mean, they were typically starting earlier, right? So
7, 3, 3:30, stuff like that. And I know there's some type of people this is what I'm looking for. They're not allowed to work
the summer moratorium.
some unless they're given permission, correct? Past May. Okay,
Well, no, well, we do, we have that on all our projects. If basically the way to get through that is to, we'll get a note, you can send it through me, but Jeff Colby, our DPW director, will, you know, we'll sign off on that if warranted, if we can, unless there's a problem. And, you know, I would
It
think-
depends, yeah, what activities are gonna happen, and if there's a traffic impact, if there's no traffic impact, it's probably not gonna be an issue.
Right, right. I mean, and the things that have been an issue, that could be an issue is if you're doing, like if you're cutting a trench across the road or something like that, that's gonna block traffic or detour traffic or something like that. But if, I'm anticipating that most of the work is gonna be beside the road,
right?
so that's not typically the kind of work that would require
Right.
permission.
That we'd be concerned about if it wasn't in the road, right?
Our trucks will be in the road. When we're setting the poles and when we're transferring, and all the other utilities will as well. So, I mean, our trucks will actually be set up, taking off one lane.
Take all in.
Yeah, pretty much, and I'm sure that Comcast and everybody will.
The other thing Brian said is the work in Saturday, actually California. So it doesn't have to be Monday to Friday, but all the other projects in town, they generally don't work Saturday. But you guys are gonna be doing that on Saturday, that's.
Well, yeah, that will be all the time.
No, I know, but
Yeah,
just to get
yeah,
detail on it, that's easy, so.
I mean, May is usually the cutoff point where this kind of starts happening with.
They would work soon. The cost of your, for the utility relocation, assuming that, encompasses utility detail. Or police if needed.
I'd have to look at it, but yeah, generally.
How much of the, roadway width do you need? Because I think the roadway is, I believe almost 40 feet wide.
We'll take up probably 3/4 of one lane.
So there's a chance that we can still do 1 lane in each direction. It'll just be, an offset. That's the idea.
So if you take- If you do, you're gonna be taking probably one lane, you're gonna be taking a good portion of one lane.
And anytime we work out. We generally will take the whole lane, because what happens is with the workers, sometimes they're going back and forth. So we put those traffic cones right on the center lane, because those guys can't be sneaking by cars when they're trying to get to the gate. we give them enough space in between where the cars are going and that. But it's just full length.
Yeah, and when we order details and stuff, we'll ask for cruises as well. Just to draw attention to the fact that there's people working in the road.
Was there any traffic issues on the phase two when it was opening traffic?
No, we didn't have. You know, it's kind of a fun road. Sometimes you have a lot of traffic and sometimes it's not much at all. So
It's pretty fast out there too.
It's the main connection from the highway to the, right, so.
Yeah.
Preschool is still reception.
I think it's a plus side having the police department come to as well, so we need the emergency, they're right there.
I don't want to stand in front of it.
So you guys can't do anything illegal. So it looks like we're at 3:30, Monday, Friday,
Oh,
and
no,
this is
I
summer.
want the option of working on Saturday.
Okay.
Because if I have, like, we are working Saturdays as a division.
Yeah.
We scatter the work between new customer work and capital work that we need to get done and then these other jobs. I want to be able to have the option of getting out there on a Saturday to do work. Obviously, I'll be in touch with the police department. We always get details when we get out there.
I want to be optimistic that you get your work done prior to, I guess, the summer months. But if it does spill over past May, is there an issue with Saturday work come in on Saturday past May? Because I know it's pretty busy here in the weekends.
We toss that back, Joe. What do you think?
Probably not, but we want to take a look at what the schedule looks like and not just say, oh, there's no problem, work whenever you want. We want to be able to review that on a more detailed basis than just abstract.
Right, so we'll wanna see a little more detail when we get into the summer moratorium period, that we call it. Generally, we're flexible, but we'll want to see. I will say that there's, the dentist's office at the corner of Buck Island and Higgins Crowell. And they're closed on Friday, they're closed on Saturday. They like the idea of Saturday work, and Friday also. Also the businesses at the north end. Similar, although I think Kitchen Creations may have traffic in and out.
I think the electrical supply places will put Saturday still.
It's across the street, right? The Diamond, Ford Diamond.
Then you also have the fence, company. And they'd be open on Saturday as well.
I think it's more the traffic that accesses the highway. We just this more of the issue on Saturdays and so.
Right. Well, they told me they were in favor of Saturday work, the tougher, the reliable fence. Right. Okay.
I think we discussed a little bit of the new police permit already earlier, so I think that should be good. Just make sure we get this, that's what submitted and we can review that, and then the order of conditions, which is the this is under the mass protection act. So you just put it in the back. I think you guys, I think just to make sure that that's somehow.
The order has been extended, so.
Yeah.
Got that taken care of.
Yeah, and also we just submitted 2021 covers pretty much all pages, case 1 to case 3.
Is there a sign requirement? Usually Brittany, she's not on now, but that's what she's concerned about, is the sign and the erosion control.
Yeah, I'm sure.
General.
Sign, we can get that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a sign requirement. I'm just wondering who's putting that up.
Well, we should be putting that sign up. Yep. We've passed all the submittals list. This is what we're expecting at this point. just had a chance to look at it, if you have any questions at all. I think the most important part here is the, both the, well, they're all important, but the, walls are more vertical.
Yes, the SWIP, I would think.
Yeah.
And if there's anything on the erosion controls, get that going, but.
Is the water department?
Yeah, Lucas here, yeah, that there,
Is there anything that, so, there's, I believe there's hydrants being relocated, is there anything that you need to review as it relates to the relocation of the hydrant?
Looks like they're gonna push back.
Yes.
Pretty straightforward. The only question I had was, the water will probably not, we're using the existing hydrants and we don't need.
The other thing is, the 515.
We just, right. But no, it's pretty straightforward, going from the hydrant.
Are you actually gonna use a new hydrant? Is that right?
I would. Get it for the. That would be.
All right, so what we can put down is, not required submittals for the water, for the hydrant relocation.
Kevin, did you was contact, water directly?
Yeah, they were in contact with, yeah.
The only other thing too, we always mention is markouts, if needed. You need to call the water department. For us to go up and mark anything out with your question.
That's right, that doesn't come through the dig safe. Yeah, that's right.
No, I already sent it to you. I already sent the, dig safe tickets to your office
Great.
with all the poll numbers and everything. I think they've already marked most of
Yeah,
it
I'll
up.
mark out along.
Yeah.
Great.
And Gas already spoke to, Dawn.
Donnie,
Yep.
yeah.
You went out and marked it. He said if there was any issues, I could just give a call.
Yeah, that's the best route.
Yeah, well, he said he'd swing by probably once every couple of days just to make sure everything was going well.
And there's a lot of marks out there from the previous phases as well.
That's all I have for now, so so emergency contact for the project team, I kind of started to write it up. I think it'll be myself and Eddie for Green, and we've got Dominic for Lynch. Did we want to add emergency contacts for the utility companies? Just in case there's any issues out there. I'm assuming we probably want to do that. Right?
Yeah, would it be the contacts that we have on the?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can use the
So Corinne, would you be okay to be the contact, emergency contact for Open Cape?
Yes. Yep.
Just contact information, just in case.
Okay.
anything happens.
Worst case scenario, if there's something that happens to our plant, we have a system in place that will respond to that, and then construction.
So just to have the list, just in case.
The same with, yes, the emergency procedure, if there's any unintentional release of gas, 911 is to be the first call. And then it goes through the process. Yeah. That's the only emergency that we have. Anything else is not considered an emergency.
I think we just touch base upon the water department coordination for the hydrant relocation. So I think that's pretty straightforward. We should be good with that. And then inspection and testing. What do you anticipate for testing at this point? Assuming any of the concrete that's being laid down. Concrete mixes.
We typically use.
What was that? Sorry.
What do you typically use for concrete testing?
Oh, for the testing?
So we can do is further coordinate the testing required in the inspections. I'll make a list and just have the list for them.
Or compaction testing also, or?
Yes.
That's something that you do yourself, the,
Yeah, we usually do compaction.
any other testing you can think of from?
No, not at this point, but I'll take a look at it without the testing. And then the HMA, where are you guys getting the HMA from at this point? Is that something you guys?
We usually do a lot of admin and done.
Yes,
Typically, this location.
okay, and is that an approved,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it has to be,
We can get you those formulas. Yep. They're probably still in the process of getting the food. That's still people will check.
and I'm not really familiar with the forest pavement. I don't know if there's anything I need to do as it relates to, inspection or testing for that. So I'll take a look into that.
Let's see, Kevin's a real fan of Fort Pivot. Yeah, let you take that one. I don't think it was anything different, right?
You guys did it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys do both phase one and phase two, pavement? Okay, phase two, I know. You guys-
I don't remember. Testing.
Is there, was an issue with the temperature and the time on the second lift? Sorry, I'm, jumping you with these questions. You know, it was during the summertime and so it was hot, out. And it wasn't cooling very fast.
Yeah, I think we saw like over second pass.
All right, okay.
Does the town have a maintenance program for forest pavement? Make sure they. So it's back in, on an annual basis. Plus, yeah, that's great. But a lot of town and cities proposes forests and then. They
Never
never
do anything.
maintain it.
Okay,
Stockpiling areas,
yeah, so, at where, on phase one and phase two, there's been a stockpile area that contractors used, and it's behind the middle school, or on the middle school property. There's a gentleman there who's been really easy to work with, and so we can get you the contact information.
that'd be great.
And it's the towns, so I have more leeway. You don't have to coordinate as well. And it's not occupied.
Is he still the
No, I don't think he would be. Steve wouldn't be anymore, no. That would probably,
So it's us. So yeah, talk to us.
because the gate's closed. The gate's closed now, so, but we could open
Okay. Dave Moran.
it.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Make sure we just don't stop by anything on the side of the road that would be, as we open the traffic. Just like doing 50 miles per hour, so. And then, payment requisition certified payrolls. It's we can discuss the. Bitcoin.
Yeah, I guess they would come to me. You've been handling those in the past.
Yeah, so normally,
Laura's really good at it.
Lynch would send their payrolls to you guys and you guys would sign off on it. It would go to Nate and then I would pay it. You guys, because I've done that lots of times, so you just send your certified payroll each time. And usually, for these kinds of projects, you usually bill out once a month. Yeah.
I guess, some of my action items now is just to set up that bi-weekly meeting.
I got one other thing I want to. I'm thinking of, it's always an issue at the end, before we take those out is. I know there's a few secondary services that feed houses, businesses. So those, I don't know, you guys ended up getting the contract to relocate those, but you know how it is at the end of this project, it's always a big issue. You know, that those secondary services are not relocated to the new poles. So
Those are
the riders.
The riders,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, of course, we don't own the secondary, so that'll be the responsibility of the town, Lynch, to relocate those. And we'll just make the connections to the new pole.
You guys move them around that, we can find just look them up.
But that's always,
So they have to run the service to a certain point, and then you guys connect it to.
yeah, a lot of times there's either a handle at the base of the pole, or you gotta cut into and intercept the conduits and then relocate it to the new pole.
Like right at the beginning of the project.
That's an electrician.
Yeah, that pole has two of them. Yeah.
It's an electrician.
Right, so Nate, we have an on-call electrician that probably could assist with that. Okay, all right, thanks, Jeff.
But that's always an issue at the end. When, you know, we're told to go out there and remove the pole and we get there and there's a service.
Well, it's usually an issue for us too, because we can't move if the riser's still in place of the old pole. So we can't.
And that's an issue. That's an issue for us also. We can't move if there are secondary wires in the way, because we have communication workers, so they're not gonna touch the electric. So it does need to be moved.
And Verizon has, I think Verizon has 3 risers. And then that one I was telling you about the pallet fence, there's 2 1.5-inch risers. If there's a 1.5-inch Verizon riser on that pole too.
So as the new poles get put in, it'd be wise just to get somebody, electrician, to start rerouting to the new pole, not really wait till.
Is that something, once the new poles are in, we can,
Yeah, you can go ahead and
get somebody to
intercept
do
them.
it, then,
Yeah,
go ahead and do
you
it.
know, don't disconnect the services, usually you run the brand new cable up the pole in the conduit, leave it rolled up, and then at some point we'll coordinate to swap them over. When all of our overhead is powered up.
So like you were saying, that, so that the logical way to do this thing is to get on it early. And then get them all moved, so that it's not an issue at the end, when you want to remove poles. All right, yeah, thank you for that. Yep. Any other good comments like that we need to know about?
I was gonna say, for us, the streetlights, some of them are pretty close to the communications wires. So if we could not put the streetlights up until all the communication wires are moved, it might be a good thing. Cause if it, we gotta maintain at least a foot of separation between communication and power. And a streetlight's considered power, so. And I know a couple of the poles I looked at with the foreman, we did notice they're pretty close to what's up there. Now, I'm talking about the ones that are gonna go near the retaining wall. Cause those are the ones that are gonna be, moved first. So they can get to their wall.
Okay.
Gonna be some downtime on the lights on the poles at that point. I don't know if that's okay with the town.
On the functionality of the lights.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna be, I mean, you're gonna have lights for a
Right.
period of time.
Yeah,
Usually after we energize, the new stuff, that's a good time to just, you don't want to go out there right now and start taking those streetlights down.
right.
To gap it out. But, when we energize the new stuff, that's generally the time we're gonna take the lights out.
And then
Just get it out of it.
and then install it right after all the communication lines are. So that, again, there's gonna be some downtime with that. So given. We got 2 days for Open Cape, 4 weeks for Comcast, and I don't know how many weeks for Verizon, maybe looking at. Closer to like 2 months in downtown, with no lights at night.
I was gonna say, what you might want to consider is we're gonna be the closest ones to the streetlights. So if they take and don't put them up until we're done transferring, then they can mount the streetlights and reconnect them. And that way you won't have your 6 weeks of waiting for Verizon and Comcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're, the streetlights are gonna be above me and they're both below me, so that would probably still work, and that way you won't have as much downtime on your lights.
Yeah, good point, Corinne, because yours is only 2 days, so it's probably less than a week downtime, so yeah.
Exactly.
Right, so we'll get the new lights up right after Open Cape is.
Yeah, once they're
done.
transferred, they're done, and adjust the things.
I assume we'll use Arden for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good.
And Brian, just keep in mind some of these utility poles have easements, so they're not, if you look at the easements, can't really move them much.
So we're gonna put a you statement.
That's the right answer.
That's why we don't say that.
And the biggest one we're gonna, the only one we're having an issue with is down the far end at Buck Island Road.
Yeah.
Because you put the stake right on top of the stuff. Which is gonna be a little bit, that, as soon as I go to auger it, it's gonna get kicked over to one side or the other, guaranteed. So we'll do our best to place it where the stake is.
Yeah.
But if we're having an issue with it, I'll just let you know. And maybe we can have Lynch come down and snap the stumps out.
Can we do that?
Could you send me that location just to make sure I don't have any?
Can we move?
It's
move
the very last
Good.
pole before you get to the Buck Island. Yeah, there's no
There's
easement
no
on
easement
that.
for that.
Yeah, it's right by the dentist office.
Yeah, that's right, we looked at that,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of stumps in that area.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stumps, and I'll give it a shot to put it where you want it, but if it starts to kick out on me, I may have to have Lynch come down with a backhoe and just snap the stumps off.
Okay, yeah, I think we should be good, that's not one of those that has an easement.
Okay.
Be very protective of our.
I've already been warned.
They're not supportive.
Yeah, this
They were
is,
very upset with Eversources, about 2018, you guys cleared it the first round, they were very upset about it.
They got a
so
stump
so
out
they
of it.
took the tree, they took the tree that Eversource cut the top off, and they had someone professionally come out and carve the toothbrush into the tree. So they are, very sensitive.
yeah, when one of the surveyors said that they're gonna have to move the toothbrush, but I got a call about that one.
That's pretty.
Toothbrush.
It's a tree.
Yeah,
EJ, are you the one that's gonna be out here all the time?
I'll be out here, but we'll have a PM that's gonna be in charge of Donna.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll have a full-time supervisor.
Right, well, that'll probably be the guy I wanna meet then when we start to do this, only because we can start to coordinate if we're getting. I don't wanna be I don't wanna be in your way transferring something if I can move down the street and get out of the way. Absolutely. From the town, Kevin Morrissey, would be with us. I'll be out there, I'm sure, a bunch, and probably one of our staff too. Seems to go a lot. Now, how much notice do you need for the police details? The night before? Because it's gonna make a difference. I'll know, like I usually know sometime around 2 o'clock in the afternoon if I'm gonna be out there the next day.
But sadly, we're telling everybody 2+ weeks. Because we're running right now, we have almost 10 guys a day, and when wastewater is even going more, it could be 20 people a day. Hold on. 2 weeks. The other option is flaggers, if we can't get them, but we have to give the contractor 48 hours notice if we call them the day before, we can do that notice. I know they tried to fill last Saturday, but it was the day of the parade, and tell them no.
Yeah. But if I'm planning on if I'm planning on going out this Saturday.
I call them out. Saturday, certainly this time of year can be easier because none of the other projects are running on Saturday. That's why I said that earlier. If you're looking for Monday through Friday. Like, the good thing is the whole, almost all of the people on the same detail system. So we're putting out to the other towns and how that can be filled out or painted out, but this time of year, it's pretty.
Okay, because we do have access to, we have a flagger unit that's been contracted with us. So what I'll do is I'll double check with them.
Yeah.
I mean,
Obviously, there's 3 flagger companies now, but some people also find the account the same.
Well,
Our only option.
I think we have one we have 1 or 2 of them that have been okayed by our company.
Good.
But what I'll do is obviously, I'd rather have police with cruises. That's my first option.
Yeah, so the more notice, the better.
Okay. But if I'm gonna try to get out, I'll try to get out, I'm gonna try to see what the weather's like for Saturday and see if I can get out there Saturday. And I'll see if I can fire off a notice tomorrow.
What's that procedure then for if we, 2 weeks at least right now, but well, you know, I don't know. Contest will be for next few months.
So the new bill of all the construction losses, they're all going to new bill that actually 3 or 4 weeks. Because they're trying to get the
And you want, so a full, like if I got Monday to Thursday, it was like, you know, it all good. Well, tomorrow. And we have no problem using flaggers either, it's just, we should tell you first before.
Yeah, everything goes through the PD, then we would notify you if we couldn't get you somebody on Thursday. And the 48 hours gives you time to call a flagger company, because then they're doing the same thing, they're pushing out trying to get. Okay.
Okay, anything else? Anyone?
Look at cat file.
Yeah.
The construction meeting.
One thing I don't see on this list is the telephone numbers. You want to include that?
Yeah.
Good.
Each one of these,
So if we could just,
So why do you want to do them here, or do you want to put it out?
yeah, right, I think that could be like a Zoom or Teams or something. I think that makes it easy. Okay. And that'll probably, I mean, I don't know, we could decide down the road. I think it's really important for the utilities certainly. But we could keep it if you want to as we get in later phases of the project. Even if it's a 5-minute meeting, I don't care. I mean, it helps to know. Thanks everyone for coming. Yeah.